Hello students, I hope you're all keeping safe at home. Welcome to English class 6 and then the schools are closed now and you must be meeting very less people now. But you must also think that actually this is a very good time for you to learn your lessons in a new way. So let us start with today's lesson. So today's lesson, students, is called How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. So this will be your English 1 and it's in page number 17 of your textbook. So as you're listening and watching the lesson, it will be good if you can follow the teacher with your textbooks in hand. Before we start the lesson, I will tell you the story of what this lesson is all about, okay? So, this lesson is about a dog, students. So, there was a certain dog, and then we all know that dogs are domestic animals, right? But before, during the ancient times, it lived in the jungle, okay? So, there was a certain dog, and then in the earlier times, dogs used to live in the forest just like the wild animals. Wild animals are the ones who live in the forest, isn't it? Not at home. So dogs also lived in the forest and they hunt animals and then they live and sleep in the forest. They found their food by hunting. So one day, a certain dog was very fed up with the situation, or we can say, he didn't want to hunt animals and find a shelter for himself, but he wanted to have a master. Okay, so master would mean that somebody superior or greater to the dog, isn't that? So he wanted to find a master, so out he went searching for a master, okay? So on the way, he found a wolf. So you all know what is a wolf, isn't that? Wolf is an animal who looks like a dog, isn't that? So he found the wolf and then he was sharing his problem with the wolf, and then the wolf was saying that, I don't mind if you want me to become your master and if you're ready to become my servant, then I don't mind. So let's, start this. So they agreed upon the situation and then the wolf became the master of the dog. Okay, so they, as they were walking by, they started living together and they used to walk in the forest, and as they were walking by one day, they came across a big bush. So bush here would mean where there is a lot of, green small plants. So it was a deep green bush, and then something was moving inside the bushes, okay? So the wolf became very alert, and then as he tried to look inside the bush, he saw something. So he saw something and he was very scared and he started running away. And now remember that the wolf is the master and the dog is the servant, isn't it? So the wolf, the master, was running away, so the dog became very confused, and then he was asking his master, Master, why are you so scared? And why are you running away from the bushes? And then the wolf told his servant, can't you see, there is a bear there inside. So that's why I am afraid of the bear, because the bear, if he sees us, then he will eat us, both of us. That's why I'm running away. So the dog understood that the wolf was scared of the bear, okay? So that is why the dog now decided that, I think you can't be my master anymore. So, we will depart now, and then now I want the bear to be my new master, okay? So the dog approached the bear and then he asked the bear again if he can become his master. And then the bear also agreed. And then now, the dog has got a new master. So as they were walking by, as they were living together one day, the bear told the dog that, let's go and hunt some cows, because cows, we all know that they live in groups and then they eat grass, isn't it? So the bear was telling the dog that, you know, there are some cows that are there in the jungle and then they're eating grass. So why don't we go and hunt them so that our stomachs will be full and we will get food also. So out the dog and the bear went in search of the cows to hunt them as food. So as they went in search of the cows, the bear again saw something. So now again, the bear got very scared and then he moved away from the group of cows. And then the cows were also running here and there. So they were really wondering what must have happened. Then they realized that a lion was coming. So a lion was coming, and students, we all know that the lion is the king of the jungle, isn't it? And then it is very ferocious in nature. Ferocious would mean very big and very scary, and the roaring sound that they make is also, you know, very frightening, right? So because the lion was coming, the bear was scared and the cows were also running here and there. So that was the situation. Again, now the dog understood that the bear is scared of the lion. So now again the dog told the bear that, no, you can't be my master, because for somebody to become my master, I want that person or that animal to be very strong and not afraid of anything. That's why we have to end this here, and then now I want the lion to be the master, so that he can be my master and I can serve him. So again, the bear and the dog also departed, and now the dog went to the lion, the king of the jungle, and then asked him whether he can be the servant or not, or whether the lion can be the dog's master or not. So very happily the lion agreed, okay? And then it is said that the lion and the dog, they lived together for a very, very long time. That means they stayed together for quite a long period of time, and then every day they used to eat, live, and walk by, and you know, they spent some very good times in the jungle, okay? So as they were doing like that, one day the lion and the dog, remember, they have become the master and the servant, right? So as they were walking in a very big cliff, so here cliff would mean a very big rock, okay? So along the cliff there was a small passage. Passage would mean a small road. So they were walking together in the passage near the cliff, and then suddenly the lion started roaring in a very loud voice. And then we all know that the lion also has very big paws, isn't it? The feet of the lion, it's very scary, right? So out of anger, the lion roared in a very loud voice, and then it also put his paws on the ground by such force that on the ground, a big hole was made. So, you know, we all know that the lion is very strong, isn't it? So, a big hole was made and the lion is roaring, is becoming restless. Again, the dog is wondering, what must have happened? So again, he asked his master, "Master, what happened to you? Why are you reacting like this?" Again, the lions say that, "Don't you know, a man is coming. A man is coming, and then if the man sees us, then he will kill both of us. That's why I have to run away from the man, and that is why, you know, I'm also becoming very ferocious and restless." So that was the reason that the lion told the dog. Okay, so now the dog also understood that even though the lion is the king of the jungle, compared to a man, or when a man comes, even the lion is scared, because man will kill the lion, isn't it? So that is why the lion was scared of the man and then running away from the man. So now the dog finally decides that, okay, leaving aside all the animals, the wolf, the bear, the lion, all those living behind, I think it will be best for me to become the servant of man. And man should become my master. That is what the dog decided in the end. And the story also tells us that even to this day, even in the present times, even now also, dog is a very faithful animal, isn't it? We all keep it in our homes, right? And then man is the master of the dog, right? So that is the story. And in the story, you can see some major characters. Major characters here would mean the important persons or the animals that are there in the story. So the major characters are, first it's the dog, and the wolf, and then the bear, and then some cows also there. You have already heard the story, and then the lion, and finally man. So if you look into the story, there are 5 main characters. The first one is the dog, and then the wolf, the bear, the lion, and finally the man. Okay, so these 5 characters are there in the lesson, and as you go in detail into the lesson, you will understand better. Okay. And students, before going into the textbook, I want you to understand that dogs belong to the canine family. Okay, now what is a canine family? Canine family would mean animals like wolf, the jackal, the hyena, the dogs. They all look somewhat similar, isn't it? So they belong to the canine family. I'll give you an example. You must have heard about the cat family. So in the cat family, some of the animals are lion, tiger, cat, cheetah, the panther, isn't it? So those are the cat families. So same like that, the dog, the wolf, the jackal, and those animals belong to the canine family, okay? And then this story, how the dog found himself a new master. This story is known as a folk tale, okay? So when I say folk tale, it would mean that a story that is told or spoken from the mouth, okay? So suppose, for example, your grandparents at home or your elders and maybe even your parents must be telling you some stories of their childhood, isn't that? And then some stories where animals are there in the story. So those are the folk tales, and it is not written in books, but it is spoken down or passed down from one generation to another in the sound form or through the mouth, okay? So this story, this lesson is also a folk tale, okay? And now, if you have your textbooks, under page number 17, we will be doing some reading sessions, and it'll be good if you can do the listening sessions. Here, listening would mean when the teacher is reading out or telling something, you listen to it, right? So, your textbook, page number 17. Before you read, right before the lesson, there is a small paragraph, isn't it? You may know that the dog and the wolf are closely related. So I told you that dogs and wolves, they belong to the canine family, isn't it? So that is why they're also saying that dogs and wolves, they are closely related, okay? You may also know something about how over the centuries, human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. Here is a story about how the dog became a tame animal. So here tame animal would mean domesticated animal. So domesticated animal are the animals that we keep at home, isn't it? Dogs, cats, cows, even goats also, right? And for you students also, some of you must be really dog lovers, isn't it? You must really like to keep dogs as pet animals, isn't it? So we understand from the lesson that dog is not a wild animal but a tame animal, a domesticated animal, okay? And when you look into the lesson, students, it is divided into 10 parts. So as we go into each part, you will understand the story better, and then you will also understand about the main characters of the lesson. So here in the first part, dogs were once their own masters and lived the way wolves do in freedom until a dog was born who was ill-pleased with this way of life. He was sick and tired of wandering about himself, looking for food and being frightened of those who were stronger than he. So in the first part, we understand that like wolves and like the other wild animals, dogs long time back, they used to live like wild animals in the jungle, okay? And then a certain dog, he was not happy with the situation and he didn't like to search for food and shelter. So that is why he decided to find out a master for himself, and out he went into the forest to find out somebody or an animal who was very strong, so that the master, the stronger animal, could protect him and then become his master, okay? If you look into the second part of the textbook, he thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth, and he set out to find such a master. So the most important criteria or the most important thing that the dog had in mind while searching for the master was the creature, the animal had to be a very strong animal, so that I told you the animal or the master can protect the dog and then take care of him also, okay? So that was the criteria that the dog had in mind. The third one, he walked and he walked, and he met a kinsman of his, a big wolf who was as strong as he was fierce. "Where are you going, dog?" the wolf asked. "I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master, wolf?" "I don't see why not," the wolf said, and this was agreed upon. The two of them went on together. So in the third part, we see that, the dog finally meets a kinsman. Here, the meaning of the word kinsman is given in the side of your textbook. So here, a kinsman would mean a relative or somebody close to a person. So here, we all understood that dogs and wolves, they belong to the same canine family, isn't it? So the dog was very happy to meet a kinsman. That means somebody close to him, somebody who looked similar to him. Okay, so after that, the wolf asked the dog, "Where are you going?" And then the dog told his criteria or his thought, and he was saying, "I'm searching for somebody who is very strong so that he can become my master. And then would you like to become my master?" Because the dog also saw that the wolf was very strong and ferocious. And then the wolf agreed, okay? So now they, started their journey. So today, that will be the end of the lesson, and the remaining part we will continue in the next class. And I want you all to come back for the next lesson also, so that you can understand the lesson better. So today you learned about a story of a dog, isn't it? And then how he met the wolf. And for the remaining part of the story, how he met the other animals also, we will continue in the next class. Thank you so much.